What if a thought could stain reality? The way ink stains paper. You dream of a key, and the next day a stranger hands you one. You think of a name, and the phone lights with that name. Coincidence is the cheap word, but it does not fit the weight. Jung's strangest word was not anima, not archetype, not shadow. It was psychoid, a thought with fingerprints, a seam where meaning takes a body. He wrote it late in his life, when his work turned from the clinic to the cosmos. The psychoid was his answer to a riddle. How can a dream lean on matter, and how can matter lean back? The psychoid is not the mind. It is deeper than the images we see in dreams. It is not matter either. It has no weight, no substance. It is a layer beneath both. A seam where psyche and substance touch without merging. Think of it as the root system of archetypes. What you see in myth or vision is only the flower above the soil. The psychoid is the unseen tangle of roots, anchored in the same ground that feeds both body and world. Jung spoke of it with Wolfgang Pauli, the physicist of the quantum. Together, they circled the idea of an unus mundus, one world, a hidden unity beneath psyche and matter. The psychoid was the threshold into that world. And synchronicity, those charged coincidences that bend you to attention, was its footprint on the shore. So when Jung says psychoid, he means a third territory, not the subjective inside, not the objective outside, a frontier where both take shape. Stay close, because to see this frontier clearly is to understand why your body sometimes knows before your mind does, and why a symbol can tilt the room. As if reality itself leaned in to listen. Ask yourself, when the symbol tilts the room, is it fantasy or the border answering back? The psychoid sounds mystical, but you meet it every day in the body. Your stomach drops before you know the reason. Your chest tightens before the thought arrives. A yes rises in your gut, while the mind is still weighing pros and cons. This is the body speaking in symbols. Neuroscience gives it names. Antonio Damasio called them somatic markers. The body's signatures stamped on experience. Before the mind composes a story, when your heart races, or your face flushes, that signal is not decoration. It is instruction. The body tags the moment as meaningful, long before the cortex puts it into words. Memory itself is built this way. Much of what drives you is implicit, stored not in images you recall, but in patterns your muscles and viscera repeat. The handshake you cannot remember learning, the flinch you cannot unlearn. All of it lives at the psychoid seam. Modern models of the brain agree. Perception is prediction. You do not see the world as it is. You see the world your brain expects, and then adjusts when proven wrong. The psychoid is the hidden layer, where symbol and sensation fuse to form those expectations. Even your gut has a voice here. The microbiome speaks through the vagus nerve, hormones and metabolites alter your mood before a single thought appears. What feels like psyche is also physiology. What feels like body is also psyche. So when Jung spoke of the psychoid, he was describing a seam. Neuroscience is only now mapping the liminal zone where meaning is carved into flesh. And flesh breathes significance back into thought. This is why synchronicities feel alive in the body. Why a dream image can make your skin prickle, or a symbol can feel like it carries weight. The psychoid is not elsewhere. It is the grammar your nervous system speaks. Every culture mapped the seam. Jung gave it a name. The rest of the world gave it stories. Alchemy called it the unus mundus. One world under the two we think we live in. Not spirit versus matter, but a hidden bedrock where both take root. When opposites join, their meaning precipitates like gold out of solution. Hermetic voices said it another way. As above, so below. As within, so without. The saying is not a wish. It is an operating rule of the seam, inner pattern, outer echo, each correcting the other until they rhyme. Kabbalah plants a marker at the threshold and calls it Yesod, foundation. The dream bridge, a reservoir where images gather power before they flow into the world of form. If Tiferet is radiance and Malkut is earth, Yesod is the conduit, the psychoid imagined as a living moon. Magicians built devices to press on this place. A sigil is a symbol emptied of chatter and filled with charge carried into the body by breath and focus, released to work in the field you share with the world. You do not make it happen by force. You configure yourself as a key, and the lock you fit begins to click. Tarot speaks in pictures so the body can understand. The moon shows the fog where instinct and omen braid together. The world shows the circle closed. A glimpse of unity that does not erase difference. These are not proofs. They are maps. And the maps persist because your nerves recognize the terrain. When a symbol seizes you and reality leans to meet it, is it fantasy? Or are you touching the waterline where two currents cross? The psychoid is not an afterlife for ideas. It is the living dock where psyche steps onto matter, and matter steps onto psyche, trading salt and stories until both are changed. You've brushed this border before. You just didn't name it. A dream clings to morning. Hours later, the world answers with the same image. It feels less like chance, more like recognition. A private joke slips the room and returns as a headline. Your small shape, suddenly public weather. A name arrives unbidden. The phone lights with that face. Call it a shiver if you must. The timing still bites. The body speaks first. Tight throat before the argument. Calm belly that turns your feet left. While thought drags its heels. Creation comes whole sometimes. An image drops ripe. A sentence lands finished. People nod as if you handed back a map they had lost. Crowds move like tide. One silence becomes a hush. One laugh becomes a chorus. The field tunes bodies before words catch up. Illness loosens when a story is retold. A symptom eases when the right name is spoken. Placebo is the world replying to a symbol you offered. Small hauntings. A song at the doorway. A phrase following you off the page. Ordinary things trembling with meaning. Grief splits the picture. Two people hold one room and read different maps. The seam shows itself in the tear. The feeling is double. Unsettling. Because inside and outside stop pretending they're strangers. Generous. Because meaning walks back in when logic keeps its distance. You don't need a miracle. You need grammar. Notice the pattern. Date it. Write it once without drama. Let the body finish its first sentence before the mind edits. Two truths to carry. The seam is close, and you've been crossing it all along. You already crossed the seam. Here is why it matters. Synchronicity is the footprint. Inner event and outer event share a shape and arrive together with a click that feels ordained. Not because you willed it by force, but because both drew from a deeper order. Archetypes root below language. They rise as images tilt the body and pull matching patterns from the street. A myth is not just a tale in the head. It is a template that the world sometimes echoes. Meaning is not thin paint on facts. It has texture. It grips the nervous system. When the fit is true, attention locks, breath changes, time thickens. Life feels steered for a heartbeat. When breath changes and time thickens, pause there. That is the hinge where choice can widen. That texture guides action. A symbol arrives and you change the meeting. A dream warns and you take the other turn. A shared mood sweeps a room and the decision shifts. The effect is small in a moment and large across a year. Treat this seam as a compass, not a leash. Let it inform aim, not replace judgment. Listen with the body, then verify with the ledger. Mystery can stand beside measurement. They are not enemies. Keep the lantern high. There is no lab test that isolates the psychoid. Jung named a pattern seen in clinic, art, physics talk, and daily life. It is a model, a tool to think with, not a doctrine you must defend. Neuroscience explains pieces, somatic markers, predictive brains, signals up the vagus. None of that proves a cosmic seam, but it does explain why the body registers meaning before the mind can name it. All of it makes the experience intelligible. Guard against easy enchantment. Selection bias loves a story. Apophenia paints faces on clouds. Write 3 hits you notice, and also write the misses. Date them. Place them. Let the numbers cool the heat without killing it. Do not outsource agency. A sign can nudge, it cannot absolve. Use the feeling as a prompt to look harder, not as permission to stop looking. The stance is simple. Stay open. stay critical. Let meaning invite inquiry. Let inquiry protect meaning. If the seam is real, it welcomes scrutiny. If it is a metaphor, it should still earn its keep. Either way you win, because attention grows finer and choice grows cleaner. We are almost done. One image to keep. A coastline in fog. On one side, the inner weather. On the other, the visible world. Between them, a narrow strand where prints appear and waves erase. And sometimes the ocean writes back. Call that strand the psychoid if you like, or call it the place where meaning takes a body. Either way, it is close. Closer than breath. Your work is simple. Not to conjure marvels, to notice the crossings. When the body speaks before thought, when an image steps out of sleep and tilts the day, when the world answers a symbol you have carried for years. Mark it once. Date, place, one line only. Let the ledger grow until the pattern stands up on its own. Do not hand your will to omens. Let them inform, not command. Listen with the nerves. Decide with the whole of you. Mystery is not an escape from responsibility. It is a richer field to act within. If you need a phrase, keep this one. Meaning has weight. When it lands, the breath changes. Enough to walk by. If this opened something, leave a trace below. Write, seam marked, so I know you're out there. Subscribe if you want the lamp kept lit. We will keep walking this border, where psyche and world share the same wind. This is your license to depart. Carry your lantern. Notice the crossings. Return with what you found. If this video shifted something in your mind, you're ready for the next level. Download my free ritual guide in the description. No catch, just pure psychological alchemy you can use tonight. If you want to go deeper, hit the initiation playlist. It's your step-by-step journey into breaking unconscious patterns and mastering your own mind. Both links are waiting below. Your transformation starts now. Until next time.